Hello students and welcome. Today we're going to learn about three very important groups of crops grown right here in India. We'll look at pulses, sugarcane, and oilseeds. We'll find out why they are so important for our food, for our farmers, and for our country. So, are you ready? Let's begin.
First, let me ask you a very simple question. Just think about it. What did you have for lunch today? Whatever it was, I'm pretty sure it connects to what we are about to learn. Let's see how.
I'm sure many of you must have had some dal with your rice or roti. You know, dal is made from something we call pulses. Millions of us eat it every single day. And it's not just tasty, it's also our main source of protein, which helps us all grow up strong and healthy.
And what about after the meal? Did you have anything sweet? Perhaps a little sugar or even a piece of gur? Well, that sweetness comes from another very important crop that we will talk about today. And one last thing. Your sabzi or dal was cooked in some kind of oil, right? Well, that cooking oil also comes from a special group of crops called oilseeds. So you see, pulses for protein, sugarcane for sweetness, and oilseeds for cooking, these crops are a huge part of our daily meals.
Okay, so let's start with our first topic, pulses. We can call them the protein powerhouse. You know, for so many of us in India who are vegetarian, pulses are our main source of protein. And here is a fun fact for you. India is the largest producer and the largest consumer of pulses in the whole world.
Now, here is an important word to remember for your exams. Pulses are known as leguminous crops. So what does that mean? It means they are very special plants that actually help make the soil healthier and more fertile. It's like magic for the soil, and we'll see exactly how it works very soon.
I'm sure you will know these names. Let's look at the list of some major pulses grown in India. We have tur, which we also call our har dal, then urad, mung, masoor, and of course peas and gram, which is also known as chana. You must have seen these in your kitchen, right?
Okay, this is very important. Not all pulses are grown at the same time of the year. Some are kharif crops, which means they are planted during the monsoon season. Examples are tur, urad, and mung. Others are rabi crops, which are sown in the winter, like gram, peas, and masoor. So kharif for monsoon and rabi for winter. Please remember this.
So remember I told you about the magic of leguminous crops? Well, this is it. The process is called nitrogen fixation. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, the pulse plant takes in nitrogen, which is a gas, from the air. Second, through its roots, it fixes this nitrogen into the soil. And third, this makes the soil super rich with nutrients, just like a natural fertilizer. This is why farmers are so smart. They often rotate pulses with other crops to keep the soil healthy.
All right, we've talked about our protein. Now let's move on to something sweet. Our second major crop is sugarcane. You've probably seen it, that tall plant that looks a bit like bamboo. That's the one. It's where we get our sugar and our gur from. Now here's something really unique about sugarcane. It takes a very long time to grow. It takes almost a whole year from planting to harvesting. That's because it's a tropical and subtropical crop, which just means it needs a lot of warmth and sunshine to grow tall and become sweet. And for those of you taking notes, here are the numbers you need to know. Sugarcane grows best in a hot and humid climate. The perfect temperature is somewhere between 21 and 27 degrees Celsius. It is also quite a thirsty crop. It needs a good amount of rainfall, about 75 to 100 centimeters in a year. So, in areas where it doesn't rain that much, farmers have to use irrigation to give the sugarcane all the water it needs. So, after all that growing time and all that water, what do we get? Well, we get sugar, of course. And also gur, which you know is jaggery, kansari, and molasses. Sugarcane is a really big deal for our country. In fact, India is the second largest producer of sugarcane in the world, right after Brazil. Growing sugarcane is not easy. It needs a lot of hard work by many people, so we say it requires a lot of manual labor. And here's an interesting fact. Have you ever wondered why sugar mills are always built close to the sugarcane fields? It's because once sugarcane is cut, it has to be processed very quickly, otherwise it starts to lose its sweetness. Okay, let's move on to our third and final group of crops for today, oilseeds. These are incredibly useful crops because, well, we use them for cooking our food, but they are also used as raw material to make many other things in factories. Just think about the cooking oil used in your kitchen at home. It could be groundnut oil, or mustard oil, maybe coconut oil, or even sunflower oil.
All of these different oils come from different kinds of oil seeds grown in India. We also have sesamum, which you probably know as till.
But the story of oilseeds doesn't just end in the kitchen. The oil from these seeds is also a very important raw material for many industries. It's used to make things like soap, creams, and other cosmetics, and even some ointments. So you see, it's used for both food and for industry.
Now, let's look at two major examples of oilseeds. On one side, you can see groundnut. This is a kharif crop grown during the monsoon, and on the other side, we have mustard, which is a rabi crop grown in the winter. So just like with pulses, different oilseeds are grown in different seasons.
We have covered a lot today, haven't we? So before we finish, let's do a very quick recap. This will help you remember all the important points for your exams.
Please pay close attention to this summary table. It's very useful. First, we have pulses. The key things to remember: they are leguminous, they are grown in both kharif and rabi seasons, they need less water, and they give us protein. Next, sugarcane. It's a tropical crop, it takes a whole year to grow, and it needs a hot and humid climate to give us sugar. And finally, oilseeds. They can be kharif or rabi, and they give us cooking oil as well as raw material for industry. This table has everything you need in one place.
And that brings us to the end of our lesson. But before I go, I have a small homework question for you. Think about your own state or your own region. Which of these crops, pulses, sugarcane, or oilseeds, do you think is most important where you live? Try to find out. It's a great way to connect what you learn to the world around you. Thank you for joining me today.